Hey guys and gals, it's Tony George, DocSports.com. Big update here today. Going to talk about 4 college basketball games. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about 4 college basketball games. We'll talk about a couple NBA games. Just a general discussion, me and you shooting the breeze, doing our thing. People interested in betting sports and what's going on in the world. And we'll give you a free play out of there as well. So we're going to get right to it today. Get over to Docs, free $60. Click the link in the description below. Thumbs up, subscribe, and appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate some of your comments yesterday. Yesterday we talked about how volatile college basketball is and how volatile the NBA is right now, especially since the All-Star break. And, of course, everybody threw out its excuses. You're not doing well. Okay. All right. Nonetheless, did you see the results last night in the NBA and in college basketball? Head scratchers. You have to expect that. I've been doing this 28 years. Happens every time this time of year. And it seems like in college basketball, it's happened almost every night this year. But that being said, we had a discussion about Tennessee and Kentucky not being able to put anybody away and cover a number, but Rick Barnes can't win a big game. Well, Rick Barnes won a big game and Kentucky lost outright. Bob Huggins won a road game out of nowhere and scored 77 points in the process. Unreal. Unreal. Are they better than Iowa State? We talked about it. Yeah. There'll be shooters on their team. Well, last night they scored 77. So you're going to have those every night. And there's a big slate of games tonight in college basketball, and if you're spreading it all over the place, you're going to get your ass kicked. I'm telling you right now, it's not that easy. Some of the games we're looking at here, Texas A&M plus 12.5 against Auburn. TCU, who, by the way, 2 of their last 3 games, they beat West Virginia and Baylor straight up. Catches 16.5 against Kansas, and Kansas doesn't put anybody away. We talked about Kentucky not putting people away. Azubuike is not playing for Kansas tonight, by the way. You think Bill Self's going to play? He's listed as questionable. You think Bill Self's going to play him with the Big 12 tournament around the corner in Kansas City and March Madness? Expected to run deep into the tournament? You think you're going to risk him against TCU, where you're favored to beat by 16.5? Hell no, he's not going to play him. Just saying. Do I want anything to do with it? No. I had Kansas on Saturday, and they laid a big dog turd in the middle of the Little Apple in Manhattan against Kansas State, who's the worst team in the conference. They were about ready to play that game as my wife would be if she was in the middle of shopping at Nordstrom's Rack, and I went and grabbed her and said, "Hey, put on a uniform. You got to play 40 tonight. 40 minutes tonight." No, they weren't ready to play. Matter of fact, Bill Self got his ass coached off. You going to lay 16 with them the next game because you think they're pissed? No. I thought Tulsa also catch a 2.5 at Temple was a little interesting. Kind of raised my eyebrow. Oh, they play some good ball. They also are Jekyll and Hyde. They get beat by nobody and go beat a giant. You don't know what you're getting with them, but interesting game there. There are conference tournaments going on. Somebody alluded to that behind the scenes in the comments. You know, Mr. Conference tournaments. I don't have a lot of interest in conference tournaments in the first round very often unless there's serious mismatch, because you'll see a lot of big blowouts or a lot of surprising underdog outright upset wins in the first round. Always happens in these tournaments. I don't care whether it's a mid-major, small conference, or Power 5. Somebody comes out of nowhere when you're thinking, I'm laying 4.5 these guys, I'm safe. No. You're not safe anywhere in college basketball this year. There's probably 12 teams that can win the national title this year. And maybe one of those teams that win the national title might not even get out of their conference tournament alive and being a champion of their conference tournament, turn around and win it all. It's going to be one of those years. Get ready. Hang on to your seat. That being said, let's switch gears to the NBA before we give you a free college basketball play. Tonight, I'm just a heads up. You want to be careful if you're thinking Boston looks so tasty, you can't even believe it. It's like for free surf and turf, filet and lobster tail at 2.5 over Cleveland. Boston's off an overtime loss last night where they let LeVert from the Nets go completely off on them. 50 points. Do you know that the Boston Celtics on back-to-back games in their second game are 12-31-1 against the spread the second game of a back-to-back? And Biggerstaff hadn't done a bad job at Cleveland in terms of covering spreads and stuff since he's taken over, since Balin resigned. and he took over after the All-Star break. Yeah, Cleveland's got an injury list like nobody's business, but have you seen who's not playing for Boston tonight? Before you get to it, it's just a heads up. Just me and you, friends, having a conversation. Brown, Hayward, Walker, Tatum, all out for Boston. No one's going to surprise play, which is, what happens in the NBA every night. Somebody surprise plays when they're not supposed to, or the stars sit all of a sudden. These guys aren't playing tonight. Just calm down if you're starting to unload on Boston thinking it looks too good to be true, because usually when it's too good to be true, it usually isn't. Oklahoma City, somebody alluded to yesterday that all I like to do is lay heavy chalk on the road with big public darlings, public favorites. Somebody a little bitter because we're on a little bit of a nosedive since the All-Star break, since crazy things have happened in the NBA since the All-Star break, and they have. Just insane results. Insane. Minnesota putting up 139 points with a depleted roster and waxing New Orleans. And I had New Orleans on the first half line last night. They should have wiped the floor. Minnesota's terrible. No Karl Anthony Towns. Everybody's gone. New roster. No chemistry. Can't score. Guess what? Basically put up 139 last night. So Oklahoma City's taking on Detroit, who is one of the worst teams in the league. And we thought they had a depleted roster. They went down and beat Phoenix. Now Derrick Rose is out 2 weeks. There's a shocker. Rose is hurt again. This guy can't stay healthy more than for a 2-week stretch each of the last 7 years. How's Detroit going to score? Oklahoma City's second best cover team in the NBA. Billy Donovan, well-coached team. Do you want to lay heavy chalk on the road with a big favorite? No. But if I was to lay heavy chalk, I don't know how Detroit's going to score. Maybe the under in that game. Detroit will play some defense. I think it's around 211, 212. Just your thoughts, leave them below. Let's get to your free play day. Who do I like the best? I like Texas A&M plus 12.5 over Auburn. Auburn off a loss. Now, they're not going to win the SEC. That went out the window the second they lost to Kentucky. Any chance, outside chance of them winning the SEC regular season title's gone. So what's Bruce Pearl want to do? Keep plenty of gas in the tank to make it run through the SEC tournament. And, of course, they're going to go to the March Madness tournament. So he's not going to run his team into the ground in this game for any reason against Texas A&M, who, by the way, is pesky and hangs around, has been playing better basketball as of late. So I'll take Texas A&M plus the 12.5 against Auburn. Does Auburn win? I'd say 5 to 7, maybe 5 to 8 points. Not willing to lay 12.5 with them. Not in this scenario. Like Texas A&M here to cover the number against Auburn tonight for your official free play. DocSports.com. We give you a free $60. Come get yourself a doubleheader. I plan on sweeping again today like I did last night in college basketball. Bouncing right back in the NBA with a nice underdog tonight that's going to surprise some people. And a totals play in the NHL.